It is a track that we know as the world center of racing, Daytona International Speedway. That is the site tonight, round number 8 of the LMCgear.com iRacing Indy Car Series, as we welcome you into the Jim Cook Chevy Grand Prix of Daytona, the 150 here, as we get ready for round number 8 of tonight's LMCgear.com iRacing Indy Car Series, as we take you down to the setting tonight. There it is, Daytona International Speedway, and here we are. It is the LMCgear.com iRacing Indy Car Series, the Jim Cook Chevrolet Daytona Indy 150 here at Daytona International Speedway. I am the captain, Chris Scala. Welcome in. Gary Gonzo, we'll hear from here in just a second as we get you ready for some racing. Qualifying going on right now on this 3.56 mile speedway. As you look above from our blimp down at this massive speedway, you're used to us racing on the oval, and you're used to us racing during the daytime in Daytona. No, we threw the lights on tonight, and we are watching historic moments here on this speedway this evening, as we have cars on the track at night, which is a really cool thing. As qualifying goes on, you see we still have just a few minutes left. And Isaac Morris on the pole as we look at Craig Forsyth. Going to be the first car we look at here coming out of the NASCAR Turn 4 section, and we are seeing very fast speeds. We are seeing a lot of drafting going on this evening on the track, and so much more. But real quickly, again, want to thank our sponsor tonight. Pop them up on the screen. There they are, Jim Cook, Chevy, Buick, GMC, the sponsor of tonight's Daytona Indy 150. We got some news we'll get you up to date with, and so much more. Let's take a look at our schedule again on the screen right now. You will see the schedule for the rest of the season. 3 races left tonight. Daytona. Next Monday night will be at Road Atlanta, right down the road from me here in Braselton, Georgia. And then Circuit de la Sarthe will go to France and watch these cars go around Le Mans. That should be a lot of fun. That will be coming up here in 3 weeks, or 2 weeks. We will finish up the season there. Take a look at our pole award winners. Isaac Morris has won the last 3, and he is working on 4 in a row here tonight, if he can finish it out here in the next couple of minutes there. Our driver point standings, Alex Van de Sande leads it by a very slim margin over Caleb Bensie. Dakota DeMed there, only 8 points back. Cohen Evans is only 14 back, so a very tight point race going into tonight's race. Team standings, which is going to kind of, I hit the wrong button there. There we go. Team standings. You see LMC Gear, the racing team there, kind of pulling away a little bit here over almost a 70-point lead over Driveline SimSport. And you'll notice that new name at the bottom, ETA Racing. We will introduce you to them very shortly. They are a new team making their debut tonight. Second Chance Points. This is the points of basically started at Indianapolis and goes into the last 5 races of the season. This is brought to you by Raceverse and the Happy Trails Chili Seasoning Mix sponsoring this series. Caleb Bensie leading that one right now by, actually tied, I should say, with Isaac Morris. So let's bring in the man that I call the Donald Davidson of, iRacing IndyCar, a series of LMC Gear, and that's our good friend Gary Godso joins me. Gary, we got a fun race in store tonight, Daytona International Speedway. Not the first time we've ever seen Indy cars on this track.
No, never. And 2 kind words for you, but you overstate my intelligence. But you know what? I will take that. It doesn't get me a free drink anywhere, but it sure makes me feel good. Believe it or not, this is I got him, not the first time you've actually seen Indy cars on this particular surface. This is a fictional race here, but in real life, Daytona's second ever event was an IndyCar race. It was back at April 4th of '59, and it was dubbed the Daytona 100. USAC scheduled 2 stops at Daytona that year, and the first race for the Daytona 100 was the leadoff of the USAC schedule for that year. It was going to be part of a really big triple header that was featuring the USAC Champ cars, and then followed by a Formula Libre race, and then followed by a USAC FIA endurance event. You would think you'd be getting a lot of bang for your buck, but a lot of people didn't show up. But some of the entrants for the first field featured some historically important drivers to IndyCar and auto racing. And in hindsight, when you look at the field, even though it was extremely small, it was pretty damn stacked. We can go over some of the names during the course of the broadcast, but we have names like Rathman and Ward and Sachs and Foyt and Unser. They were all in this very first race, and we can talk more about them. But the IndyCars did later come back in the 2000s just to do some tests for some warm weather testing sites, and they thought about maybe having a race here, and they never followed through with it. So that's about what we know about IndyCars at Daytona. So what you're seeing here is kind of unexplored area with these guys racing here in iRacing.
And you mentioned Rathman. How about that name? That would be Jim Rathman you're mentioning in that race. The same Jim Rathman who owns multiple car dealerships down the Space Coast, which is Brevard County, just south of Daytona, all the way down into the Treasure Coast area, which was actually where I was born and raised. 105 miles, according to the sign, as you get onto Interstate 95 from Daytona International Speedway is my hometown of Sebastian, Florida. So that's where I was born and raised, outside of all the towns you heard me mention. Yeah, I've lived here. That's where you saw me born and raised, down in Florida. So looking forward to getting that. But right now we are actually going to be joined by a member of a brand new team is going to join us right now. Let's bring him up here. And Adam Plunkett is here. Adam is one of the newcomers, one of 3 newcomers tonight. And let's welcome in ETA Racing. I've already made the joke and called him estimated time of arrival racing. You could call him that, I guess. But ETA Racing, Adam Plunkett joins us. Adam, you're right now 7th on the grid, but let's talk about the team. What brings you to the LMCgear.com iRacing Indy Car Series?
I ran a race a month ago or so, and I've been telling buddies about how well it was run and how good the sets were. And so they jumped in tonight, and so the team's brand new today.
Do you have any idea of the ETA part? Is that I'm just trying to guess, maybe off the top of my head. I joked and said estimated time of arrival, but is there a certain acronym behind that, or just a name?
It's Ed, Tom, and Adam. That's
okay.
The 3 names. That would make sense. So I assume you 3 have known each other for a while?
Tom, a good amount of time. Ed, I knew from another series, so we just all jumped over together.
So let's talk expectations tonight. What would be a good night for the team?
Well, I know that. I would just that my thinking is clean, consistent laps is like a P5. Somewhere there. P5 is my goal. I'll take anything I can get above that. I think Ed's pace would be the quickest on the team, so thinking he could work his way up and do a little better.
Well, Adam, we appreciate your time. I know you're out there trying to get a couple laps in, so we'll let you get back out there and get 1 or 2, maybe to try to jump yourself up there. You're right behind your teammate right now, 4 tenths off right now in the 7th position. So we wish you the best, Adam, and good luck to the team.
Thank you. 4 tenths. I'm going to need a miracle. But
well, we appreciate your time, Adam. We'll send him back down there as he gets ready for his race. Now, Gary, this race tonight, we're going to see a good fuel strategy in play here. It's going to be a 2-stop race no matter what. Looks like the window sets up at about lap 12, but the draft here is going to play such a big role because you are pretty much from the time you come out of the turn 6 area, which is the left-handed horseshoe, I guess we can call it. There's the international horseshoe and then the other horseshoe, and then there's the third left-hander here. Actually, you see it on screen right now. Craig Forsyth coming out of it into NASCAR 1. You're pretty much drafting all the way down to the start-finish line minus the bus stop.
Yeah, and I got a lot of points to the race here that we will probably look at real quick, though. That the racing team that we just interviewed there with the ETA kind of reminds me of the old Paul Diatlovich motorsports team. He used to be PDM, and everyone called them poor dumb mechanics. So, but keys to the race here for things that we want to look at Daytona. couple things I've highlighted, and this is just from also driving here as well as listening to driver reports, is damage exposure. It's not damaging your wings or your under tray during the transitions of the apron and the banking. You got to watch the pit exit because it's like sticking a thread through the eye of a needle. It's extremely tight. Throttle control, cold tires for pit in and out, especially through the international horseshoe, gets very hairy, and you need to be patient getting the car back under powers on turns, on the exits of turns 3, 5, and 6. Braking control under very high-speed braking. They don't do that a lot in this particular league. They've done it this season with Monza, but this is really the second time they'll get a chance to look at it. They'll be doing 190 plus, even without push to pass, going into turn 1 and 8. And then, as you mentioned, the draft and managing that push to pass. You only get 10 pushes. Hopefully you're close enough in the car in front of you that you don't have to worry about pushing that button, and you can save it for later in the race for some time, maybe possibly when you need to use it defensively. And lastly, manage what you have. If you run out of fuel, it's a long way back around the pit road.
It is a very long way around pit road, so you do not want to run out of fuel in that situation. That will definitely not lead to a good finish in the end on any track, let alone Daytona here, because, I mean, you got to slow down so much in these corners, and you can't just shortcut through the regular NASCAR part of the track to make that happen. So we definitely don't want to see that out of anybody this evening. But I do want to mention real quickly, I talked about the second chance points. I want to give them another read real quickly. You see up there Caleb Bensey leading the points. And that's the Raceverse Tom Hoover's second chance points. Of course, they are brought to you by Raceverse. If you're looking for an iRacing broadcaster for the sports car or open wheel league or a one-off event, if you're looking for IndyCar or Formula style racing, well, Raceverse specializes in that kind of racing as well as sports cars and prototype racing. Visit raceverse.com to check out the previous broadcast and send us a message about how to contact and let them know what you're looking for. And also, world champion Tom Hoover's Happy Trails chili seasoning mix. Just add beef, tomato sauce, and water, and you've got world championship chili. Each winner of the last 5 races will actually get Tom Hoover's Happy Trails chili seasoning mix, and Racer's Second Chance Championship will get a $15 iRacing credit. So already Isaac Morris last week, he got himself a chili mix, which the mailing ought to be interesting, and Caleb Betsy got the one last week. So that's how that all works. I want to get them a mention real quickly. We kind of ran through all that so we can get the interviews and stuff in. So we got about 40 seconds left here in qualifying. What is your expectation here? Because we are going to be going hot down into turn 1, draft, and so on and so forth. What can we expect?
Well, and yeah, we only have a couple seconds here before they start lining up. I see a lot of names, a lot of fast guys up at the front that are typical that we've seen, but we've had my man Oscar Fredrickson. That's my teammate from the Velocity Online Racing Series, as well as Julian Altena. They're up there. There's going to be a lot of people jockeying for that top spot. Not only you want to get ahead of Morris and Evans, because Morris just tends to run away with it, is you just don't want to let the car in front of you get too far away, because if they break the draft, you're kind of now back into a situation where you kind of hope for a mistake, or you just make up ground with pit strategy.
So it looked like Isaac Morris is going to hit his 4th straight pole and his 4th start of the season. That's 100% where I come from. So he will. 1,000, yep. Yep. He'll start in a pole, and look at this. You see the top 5 cars. You mentioned Evans, Kerstetter, Bensy, Fredrickson. The top 5 all within 1/10 of a second, or actually 1 second, I should say, of the pole. How about this on the grid? You see the R button over there, or the R button? It's not a button. The R on the names. I counted during the interview, and I want to make sure I count this right. We have 10 rookies starting this race, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We got 10 rookies in the name. So that would mean that there's a lot of rookies in this field.
Well, just because they're rookies doesn't mean they're not experienced. It's rookies to this league. This league has done a lot of, and I think a lot of it has to do with your broadcast, as well as just Jim going out there and doing some recruiting, as well as the rest of the TI guys getting their friends and other good quality drivers into this league. We have, 21, 22 drivers that are taking the green flag today. We haven't had that many since Indianapolis, which was only a couple races ago, but still, that's pretty impressive for a league that's only been around for a better part of over a year.
All right, I am here.
Okay.
I was actually, it was one of those deals real quickly. I had to actually jump up for a quick second and say goodnight to my daughter, who usually goes to bed a little earlier than this, but she was, struggling. So, real quickly, we can go through the starting lineup now as you see them gritting up over there on the back straightaway for this race. Starting lineup for this Jim Cook Chevrolet Daytona Indy 150, Isaac Morris, a 128.9, which I did the math, that is about 5 seconds quicker than an LMP1 car around Daytona. So think about the 24-hour race. These Indy cars are getting it down the straightaways. Cohen Evans will start there outside of row number 1. Ed Kerstetter, that's the first man in the new ETA racing team. That's the E. He starts in the third position next to Caleb Bensi, the Indianapolis winner. Oscar Fredrickson, the Scandinavian driver, will start next to Julian Altena. Jim Herrick, Adam Plunkett, there's the A. He'll start in the 8th position. And the T, Tom Carpenter, will start next to Dakota Nemed. I figured I'd cover them all. Alex Van Descent will start next to the home state boy, Justin Miller. The Florida driver will start there in the 12th position. Taking a look at the 7th row, you got Matt Houston, the Indiana driver, will start next to Cody Claiborne. Row number 8, Craig Forsythe, Dan Marrera. Row number 9, Wesley Johnson, Joe Fierro. Row 10, Coy Haslow. Story about him. Coy Haslow races on Thursday nights over in the Short Track Super League that's here on Captain TV. Not going to say that, maybe he saw this league from our broadcast, but it's cool to see Coy over here running the Indy cars. Hopefully he does well tonight. But Jacob Locklear will start there in the 20th position. Brandon Dennis, another rookie there in the 21st position. So 21 cars. That's pretty much a full grid for an IndyCar race, which is really cool as they go through the bus stop. Now, I got to pop quiz you. Mr. Gary, do you remember who won the first Daytona race in Season 1?
For this particular series, it
Yes,
was a little bit before my involvement, so you got me on that one.
Oh, look at there, boys. We have to go back.
I thought you were going to ask me who won the first the real IndyCar race here, and I got you there, buddy, but you got me here.
I outsmarted him, and I cannot even play. He's in this race, but I can't find him on the grid now all of a sudden. Where is he? This is embarrassing. Oh. Some reason, did he not grid or something? We'll have to investigate, but it's actually Matt Houston was the guy I was looking for. Matt Houston won the first race here 2 seasons ago.
All right. Well, he is the boss man for Raceverse, and we wish them and his teammate Caleb well. We're coming to green.
Here we go. Coming to the green flag. You mentioned Isaac Morris going to bring them down with Cohen Evans, Ed Kerstetter, Caleb Bensi, Oscar Fredrickson to the green. Here we go. Let's drag race to turn 1 at Daytona.
Wow. Big jump on the front row.
Probably a good idea to get everybody sorted out. Everybody clean. This is a good calamity corner right here. Turn 1 on a start or a restart can be not so fun. Everybody makes it through, though. Oh, one car spinning. Is that Alex Van Descent has spun, and he's got damage through the S's coming into the International Horseshoe. Not sure what happened.
Possible.
Oh, I lost Gary there for a second. Looks like...
I should be here.
Yeah, you're here now. I just lost you for a second for some reason. Hopefully it's not something
Okay.
on my end. Let's get that off my screen. Maybe that's part of it. Sorry for seeing some glitchiness. So, wow. Am I that far behind? Anyways, Alex Van de Sant went off over in the S's there and had some issues there. Not sure what happened. We'll get a replay here in a second. But everybody else working their way through the bus stop for the first time.
We got the first laps coming up here to be completed. Evans right on the gearbox of Isaac. Isaac down to the apron, which is allowed here.
On the front straightaway, yes. Yeah, that's one thing we should point out. They are not allowed to use, pardon me as I turn things off because apparently I'm having a little bit of a freezing issue here.
Yes.
They're not allowed to use the apron in the NASCAR 1-2 and NASCAR 3-4 section, but the front stretch they can.
Yeah, the Indy cars produce so much downforce that you can actually pin the car down there on the flat part of the course and then run it down there if it wasn't allowed, if it was disallowed, or not, or excuse me, allowed in the rules. Thankfully, they disallowed it. It would have shaved a couple seconds off of average lap time, and it kind of would have been artificial. The spirit to running this track is up on the banking, so let's get it up on the banking where it really counts.
Absolutely. Now you see Ed Kerstetter, the first of the new ETA racing team, running in third. He is 1.9 seconds back right now from the race leader, so not far back and getting that draft. How far back in these cars? I know on iRacing it's about a second and a half before you get to start feeling some of the draft. How is it in the IndyCar? They're trying to work on the graphics here in a second.
We got a pass for the lead coming up to the trioval right here.
Yep, you see Cohen Evans going to the outside of Isaac Morris, got the draft into the corner, into the turn one section, and Isaac trying to get this, or Cohen trying to get the lead from Isaac. And does Cohen really want to lead this race, or do you want to ride behind him and get the draft?
I want Isaac behind me at all times.
Right?
If I'm in a race, I want him behind me. Yeah, I want to see open track in front of me. But what this is allowing the third place Ed to get back in touch with these guys. He has that beautiful Ford GT type style paint livery that he's running right there. For a while, he wasn't in touch, and now he's right back with them.
Plenty of action going on so far. Here's this ride with Kerstetter around this track. You see him up in the NASCAR turn 1 and 2 section. Down this very long 3,000-foot back straightaway, but they're going to use a bus stop here. Right down, you see O'Connor was made a move to the outside there on the screen, down to fourth, down to third gear.
That's 2 laps in a row he's taking a peak there. He has definitely got a good run coming out of turn 6 all the way down to down the super stretch into the bus stop there.
So just taking a look here, it looks like Rick Ravon did not start the race. Neither did Jacob Locklear and Gavin Smith. They did not start the race. Coy Haslow, I believe, started the race on pit road along with Brandon Dennis because they are way back. I'll have to check on Dennis. And then Alex Van de Sant right now in the 18th position with that nose damage. He is struggling right now.
Yeah, we already got some people that have already made some pit stops. Brandon Dennis, he's pitted in lap 3 already for 15 seconds. Van de Sant, he pitted right off lap 1 for 26 seconds to get the damage there. Craig Forsyth must have had some damage as well. He also pitted for 24 seconds. And Dakota Ahmed, he is currently on pit road right now.
Yeah, Dakota's had some issues. Matter of fact, let's take you back real quickly. Got a couple of these wrecks now that I think everything is straightened out here, and I apologize again. Oh, you know what? Alex caught the curves on the left-hander of the S's and slid and hit the Armco over there near the International Horseshoe. That is what happened to Alex. We'll look at it one more time here. Tough angle to see here, but he clips that inside curve, and it upsets his car and sends him to just a lazy spin, but clips the curve, or the inside arm cone. That damages the left front of his wings. So that's what happened over in the turn 2 section. Let's go back here to the rookie, Brandon Dennis. He's got the Scott Dixon livery here. He's coming down into the turn 1 section right now. Well, not right now. This is at the accident point here. He comes through 1. Loses the back end and smashes the pit wall hard. I can't say I haven't done that one in an IMSA car. But Dennis, unfortunately, he's got heavy damage on that car. Didn't you mention Dakota Demed? Dakota, he's coming through the NASCAR tri-oval section here. And let's see here as he goes down to turn 1. And he loses it. Oh, my gosh. Side into the tire barriers at pit wall. To quote the late, great Chris Farley, son of a, that's going to leave a mark. And then apparently Caleb Benzie just recently had issues. Let's see what happened to him. The guy running second in points. Caleb going through the kink down towards the horseshoe, and he loses the back end, spins it, and just a lazy spin on his part. So nothing, no harm, no foul. So that catches you up on all the action with the accidents we've had so far. So yeah, Dakota Demed unfortunately going to not have the best finish here, Gary.
There is the top 3 have really separated themselves, and they are by far and away the fastest cars on the track. Morris last time around 140.872, Evans 141.279, and Kerstetter 140.803. These guys are flying because in 4th place Fredrickson only 134.988. There's 6 miles per hour difference between those 3 and the second group.
It makes you wonder, are those guys saving more fuel maybe? Are they running at a lower engine set maybe? Letting these guys kind of burn their fuel off?
Knowing Fredrickson and knowing Altena, probably not. I think that they probably just got involved in their own little battles, and they got them sorted out. And by the time they got sorted out, the top 3 were breaking away.
And let's look back here at this battle. This is 6th. Let me make sure I got everybody in picture here. I believe this is 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Altena, Plunkett, Carpenter, and Claiborne. No, Claiborne's not in this battle. Bensie's in this battle. So this is actually 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. And look at the front end of the 31. Altena's dragging a cone with him.
And that's not going to help downforce.
Yeah, if anything, that's going to lift the car up a little bit, depending on how the setting is in iRacing. Up there goes the cone.
There it goes. Yep, there it is. So it's looking at 10th place Tom Carpenter. The last name Carpenter actually brings up one of the stories that I have from the very first IndyCar race that happened here in 1959. There was a driver in the starting lineup. His name is Owen George. I don't know who that guy is. Well, once I tell you who he married, then you're going to realize who he is. He is the husband of the former chairman of Mary. So he's the father of Indy Racing founder Tony Carpenter, and he's also the stepfather of 3-time Indianapolis 500 pole winner Ed Carpenter. There you go.
Wow, great story there. Now Tom Carpenter, I'm assuming not related, considering he's a Virginia driver, but you never know.
You never know.
You could also joke around and said that maybe it's an imposter, Patrick Carpentier, and they spelled Carpentier wrong.
That's only if he was from Canada.
Again, imposter. But needless to say, Tom running up there in the 8th position right now, doing a great job. Let's continue to look for some more battles up here now as Caleb Benzie, the Indianapolis winner, he battles now with Oscar Fredrickson for the 4th position, or starts to try to catch him, I should say. He's only 6/10 back. He's got Julian Altena trying to draft him here. Then you got...
it's hard not to watch these top 3, though. They are so all over each other right now.
Well, pretty much Cohen and Isaac have been all over each other throughout the season since Isaac has made his appearance. Kerstetter's the one that's impressing me.
To the outside through the tri-oval. Cohen to the outside of the triangle, pulls the pass off.
He got him. Nice pass by Cohen. You almost wonder if Isaac's maybe jumping in line. Oh, he goes wide.
Isaac back underneath him in turn 1. He's got the over-under. Oh, we're going to come through the S's.
Oh, Cohen's in the grass.
Horseshoe. Oh, Cohen gets into the grass. That was a little dangerous right there.
Oh, and Isaac goes wide. And that brings Tom into the picture. Or Ed. Sorry, Ed.
Yeah,
Tom.
Ed's just getting close. He's seeing this. He's like, come on, boys. Just go ahead and make some contact for me or something.
I was just about to say, though, I am very impressed with Ed because Kerstetter, his first race, he's up here in the top 3 competing with 2 really good road racers here. Back here, Altena's got another cone on the front of his car.
Yeah, I think they're picking up a lot of the cones coming into the Western Horseshoe where they're trying to come out wide and give themselves a high arc into that last corner of the Horseshoe complex. And I saw a lot of drivers kicking cones off during practice and qualification, so I think that's probably where he's picking them up.
Shall we call? Oh, Kyle with a move, a crossover almost on Fredrickson, not able to make the move there. Altena lost the cone again. Should we call him Conehead? I'm just curious. Oh, and as I say that, Altena's crashed. Julian spins it. Not sure if he hit anything. Car looks okay. But he spun. I think he clipped the grass or the curve over in the bus stop, and it spun him around.
Right on the bus stop exit. Right on the bus stop exit. If you missed that little patch there that they gave for a little extra room on exit, if you missed that patch and grabbed that dirt, you will kick the back end around, and that's exactly what happened.
Well, if I had a quarter every time I've done this move on this track. Oh, you know what? Part of it, too, I want to back it up here. Watch the air he gets over the 3rd curve. So the second right-hander here, he's going to hit the left, he's going to hit the right, he's going to go straight over. And goes into the air for a split second there. And it just lazy spins it. Nice job by, I think that's Plunkett that just missed him, but Altena continues on. No harm, no foul other than a loss of time.
Hey, your man there, Ed, starting this race here. Purple lap, 129.803. He's the fastest driver on the track so far this race.
Now, he should say again, 12 laps will open up. The 12th lap will open up the fuel window for these cars. So 15 laps is the max they say you can go on fuel. Obviously, if you do 12, that'll get you to 27. 27 gets you to our lap total of 42 tonight. So just to let you guys learn a little bit there with the fuel strategy and stuff like that. So we'll have to see.
Going to the outside again of Isaac, coming into the tri-oval. They are side by side, coming down to the start-finish line into turn 1. Cohen gets the pass this time. Does he hold him off going into turn 1 and the turn 1 exit?
Looks like a better entry into the corner there, and he smooth off, and that gives Cohen the lead. Isaac, though, is not going to let him go.
No, he's not going to let him go at all.
And back here, Justin Miller and Altena. These guys are almost bumping wheels into the tri-oval. Oh, there's a wheel bang. Turn 1, the action spot here tonight. And oh, by the way, Cohen, 129.74.
You can carry a lot of speed in the turn 1. Yes, he did. 129.
I think
129.736 there. And that works the way out to be 141.84 miles per hour.
Wow, that is just getting it. As a matter of fact, let's go on board with Isaac Morris here for a second. We're going to ride, and we're going to pull up our dashboard picture here. We're going to let you see on the right-hand side. Let's see what top speed Isaac gets down here in the turn 1 in the draft. He's already 170, already to 180.
He'll be right around 190, just 190.40.
He's at he got out of the gas. He was at 194 right there.
Yeah.
I think he could easily be 200 if he wanted to make a move. 196.
Isaac on the other side of Caleb into turn 1 again, and Isaac gets the position back.
So 196 was what I saw, and Kerstetter with another purple, 29.6.
Yeah, that was his last lap, and he's just That's a 141.981. So he's just a tenth faster than Morris is in his best lap there. And he's just the benefit of the draft right there. I'm sure he's saving up these pushes and passes, just sitting there, ready to go, knowing that they've got a pit stop coming up, and that these guys have a huge bubble between themselves and the next pack.
And we have our camera on Jim Herrick right now. Of course, Jim's got the Herrick family watching us tonight, so figure we would go ahead and get looking at the head of Jim shot.
Let's not jinx him.
Yeah, right?
We've kind of jinxed him the last couple of weeks, so best of luck there, Jim.
Maybe I should have waited to the straightaway to do this.
That would be even more embarrassing, really.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because if you wreck on a straightaway, I can't blame us for that. All right, he's in NASCAR 1 now, so we should be okay here for a second. But before we get to the chicane, I will get off his car. But there you go. Everybody say hi, Jim. There we go. Out of Jim's car. We spared Jim. And down in the turn 1, Isaac holding on again as we are at lap 12. So the window is now open for those who want to pit. Now, Alex Van de Sant, he pitted at lap 1, so he actually will have to make a third pit stop as he got that wing fixed with the reset they have. So fantastic racing, though, here. Pass for 4th. Caleb Benzie in the turn 1 gets past Fredrickson. So Caleb making up for his little whoopsies that he did over in the, where did he spin at? I think it was turn 1. I forgot.
Yeah, the top 3 are all within a second of each other, and in 4th place, Caleb's back 13 seconds. So he's got a long road hell ahead of him, and really the only thing that you're waiting for here is someone to make a mistake. These top 3 have by far put themselves out in front of everyone else by a long way.
Yeah, they've just kind of ran away with it. And again, the draft playing a pretty big role. You wonder how much I mean, obviously he's putting full effort in, but how much like Kerstetter, I wonder how much he's really pushing to get to the lead. Is he wanting to save some fuel to try to max out the fuel stint and that kind of thing? Because obviously you could short stint the end.
I'll tell you what, if I was in his shoes, I see these two guys fighting. I'm going to back off. I'm going to watch. I'm going to have the best seat in the house.
Evans,
they take each other out.
Back to the outside here. Send it in, young fella. Sorry, I had to do my best Bill Raftery
right
there.
To the gray, over the white line. That's okay. But yeah, he has the best seat in the house. And let these two bang each other's wheels.
Christopher driving in there deep. He almost got in the back of Cohen.
He's making me look bad. I was telling him that he was probably going to take it easy, and now he's actually pushing it. So we're into the window. We're definitely into the window.
And if you want to quote the Right Eagles song, maybe it's not Take It Easy. Maybe instead it's maybe what, Dust in the Wind, maybe, or what? Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of other Eagles songs off the top of my head, and I've gone blank. Let's see if Kerstetter here is going to use a little push to pass, maybe down the straightaway here. Not going to have enough, but you know what? Cohen might be setting up here. These guys easily, I think whoever is in second place on the final lap, if you're right within the leader, that might be where to be to come to the finish line here.
You got to be really close, though. And you know that Isaac or whoever that leader is going to be is going to defend like it's all get out. You know, they're not going to get that up very easily.
Well, let's see. Cohen, that time by, was 7/10 back coming off of the final corner, and he got it down to 2/10. So you want to be roughly probably about a half second or less back to maybe get that draft down the straightaway. But you said best, as you see one car coming off pit road to the left. That's Gavin Smith. Catching him is one thing, passing him is another. And one guy once told me in a broadcast network that he used to work for on iRacing, really cool guy, and he said this to me, and still to this day I don't know what the heck it means. But he said it's like milking a goat.
Oh! Cohen spins going into the Western Horseshoe.
Yeah, that's going to hurt. Back on track though, real quickly. So he's not going to. He's going to lose about 7 or 8 seconds. But Cohen Evans probably pretty mad at himself now. And now the question is, does this stretch out Cohen's fuel now? Do you need to go ahead and run this tank out? just to get as much as you can out of this car to try to catch up? Or do you short pit?
Short pit. I say if I was still up with Isaac, I would pit when he pits at that point. But now that I'm not, and I'm no longer, I need to make that ground up. I'm on another strategy now. Strategies just changed all of a sudden.
Trying to go back here to Cohen's spin. Here it is right here. Let's go back and watch what happened to Cohen. It happens over in the West Horseshoe. He just, oh, you know what? He gets too deep into the corner, almost runs over Isaac and just spins himself. Pretty classy move when you look at it. He was going to run over Isaac, it looked like.
Right. He probably did misjudge the closing rate, which is very easy to do.
And Cohen's on pit road.
Okay, it's just like I said, pit now, pit now.
Cohen's on pit road, Oscar Fredrickson on pit road. And the pace cars had issues over here in turn 1. That is not how you park. Gary, are you driving a pace car?
I don't have any pace car trivia, but that's awful.
Well, 1973 Indianapolis 500. I can tell you that one. Go look on YouTube.
There's that one. Yeah, there's that one. There's a time that the guy stole one at Talladega, I think.
Yep, 1976, I believe. And then, of course, you had the pace car at 2018 at Detroit. Genius.
The vet, yes. He redeemed himself. They let him drive the pace car at this year's 500, I think.
Which is awesome. In fairness, though, the 500 was dry at that point.
Yeah.
Well, Cohen is back now in the 9th position after that pit stop. 10 seconds for tires and fuel. And I'm pretty sure he is going to drive the living fire out of this car. And Kerstetter on pit road along.
And Kerstetter to pit road, yep.
Yep, both of them in. Speed limit is 60 at Daytona. Everybody running kind of tight to the white line there.
So this will cycle around unless Caleb pits. He will lead at least a lap.
Tires and fuel on for these guys. And there, once again, the safety car. I got nothing.
No. And they exit out, they enter. So nothing, doesn't look like anything's gained here. But watch this exit right there. Mm-hmm. Right there.
Watch out for the policeman.
That can really, yep.
Watched, who was it in practice? Somebody did a complete somersault over the barrier hitting those things earlier today in practice. All right, Julian Altena, Tom Carpenter, Jim Herrick, Justin Miller, all these guys. Wesley Johnson on pit road.
And then they're going to come through the kink. Yeah, they're coming through this next set of turns here on the Western Horseshoe. The tires should be about up to temperature. They got one more tight one to negotiate, and after that, the tires will definitely be up to temperature. And then they're back on the banking. But you're just gingerly making it through the infield at that point.
This corner right there, that is, we'll call it the turn 9 of Daytona. And what we mean by turn 9 is Watkins Glen. That left-hand corner is so bumpy, and it's so easy to spin the car out there. Why? I haven't figured it out yet. But for some reason, out of all the corners here, when I run this track, I am the most nervous in that corner. Coming out onto the asphalt, I will not full throttle until I'm almost to the banking, because it's just like the car wants to spin around with all the bumps.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't want to be on the power until my hands are pointed in a straight position, and so I don't have any degree of steering in the wheel. Because once you kick it off and you're steering in the wrong direction, you're just going to spin the car around.
So the pit stop difference between Isaac and Kerstetter was 2/100ths of a second, a 10:33 and a 10:35. Where the pit stop differences. So they are right neck and neck with each other. Cohen Evans is now 8.3 seconds back. And two cars that are not done battling each other is the 21 and 42 here. Bensey and Fredrickson. This is a battle for 4th down into turn 1. Fredrickson not close enough.
Van de Sent has not pit yet.
And he's on pit road now.
He's in now. He's in now.
So in his case, he runs his fuel all the way out. 17 and 15, that gets you to 32. Leaves him 10 laps short. So Alex is on his own island right now when it comes to a strategy. He really is more in probably a go as hard as you can the rest of this race mode to get what you can.
Yeah, and when you're on an island all your own, it's you got there as a 3-hour tour, and you need all the help you can to get off that one.
And a fairy tale. You don't want me singing.
Hey, before you start singing, we know you primarily follow NASCAR. You're a NASCAR guy. So one of the starters from the original IndyCar race that was here in 1959, his name looks very inconspicuous, but then once you find out his given name, then you start connecting the dots. But under his nickname is Bob, and his last name is Said. But he goes by his given name of Boris Said II, and he is the father to road course ringer and NASCAR, I guess would be Xfinity Series winner Boris Said III.
The Said head.
Yes.
All of 6'6" of him. As Fredrickson and Bensy side by side into the tri-oval. The only guy I know of to literally call Greg Biffle on the air a punk. I think it was, or something. I remember the interview. It was really cool. Oh, Fredrickson almost lost it. Wheel lock up and had to save her. He was tank slapping into the in the International Horseshoe. And back here into turn one, Julian Altena, he's come up on the back of Tom Carpenter here. And Carpenter locks her up into the corner. This has actually been a fantastic race for those who might have had concerns about a Daytona road race with Indy cars. Oh, and another lockup from Tom as he goes off track. Carpenter and all that clog.
Yeah, stay out of that flag.
Isaac Morris, though.
Your man cursor to the outside in the tri-oval on Isaac. He pulled alongside, couldn't pull it off. Isaac was down on the apron, had the shorter line, but he was right up there making a challenge for the lead.
Kerstetter looking real good here, and Evans has been able to keep it right at 9 seconds between him and the leader, and there's Isaac locking it up into the corner. Down through the kink over here into the regular horseshoe, the Western Horseshoe as some call it. All 18 viewers that I appreciate you guys watching. If you do want to comment, talk to us a little bit, you can chat with us in YouTube. Obviously, Sherry Herrick cheering on her husband Jim. Appreciate
car into the
somebody parked it
into the tires there.
That doesn't go there. All right, that's Gavin Smith. Gavin's had a long night. I've seen him with a lot of issues on track tonight. Kerstetter all over the back here. Let's go back here to the Florida driver, the hometown boy, Justin Miller. He is coming up on the back of Julian Altena now. This will be for the 7th position. Justin in the, well, we'll just call it green and black car. He doesn't have a sponsor on there. Oh, he dives it in there. Oh, that almost got bad. There's that. You see that wobble from Julian? That's that corner. And here comes Justin right now. He's going to try to make the pass. As a matter of fact, we're getting to that point of the race. And let's go ahead and, we're going to use our hometown boy to do this tonight. As you know, we have our NRW photography ride-along lap. So we are going to sit back and be quiet for a second. I'm going to turn all the graphics off. Yeah, we're going to try to be quiet off the mic. That might be a little impossible to do. We're going to do our best here, though. But we're going to let you enjoy a ride around the Daytona road course with Justin Miller. And this is all brought to you by your good friends at NRW Photography. That right there is a ride-along lap with Justin Miller, the Florida driver, and that is brought to you by NRW Photography. If you want high-resolution screenshots, please don't wreck Justin. If you want high-resolution screenshots of your paints and want sweet graphics to make your car pop. Of course, my phone's giving me issues here. Make sure you check out NRW Photography's Facebook page at Weatherby Photography. Set up an order today. If you mention LMCgear.com, IndyCar Broadcast, you'll get 20% off your next purchase. Also, you can ask them about the deep fakes and so much more. We had a chuckle because last week we had the issue with Jim Herrick. We tried to do the ride-along lap, and well, the broadcaster curse came into play.
Yeah, he planted that right in the champion's wall.
It's like, Jay, you're not supposed to do that, Jim. Not during the read, please. It's kind of like, I remember the story here at Daytona a couple years ago when, I'm trying to remember the race. It was President Bush, I believe, was in the booth. This was obviously early 2000s. And they were talking about on MRN radio, like their key word when they do broadcast on there is if they say the word trouble, they know to cut the mic to that person who says it so that they can report an accident on track. Well, obviously, with the president in the booth, they were like, do not use the word trouble while he's in the booth, please. Because immediately everybody's going to panic and think something's going on.
Yeah, it's always kind of throwing caution to the wind, so to speak, when you do put the commander-in-chief up in the booth, because so many things can happen.
Yes. Well, or put them in a lap around in a limousine like this year's 500, which then turned into the 24 hours of Daytona all over again. But one thing we mentioned earlier, and I brought you the kind of a short story about it. Florida, Jim Rathman, an IndyCar driver from back in the day. He actually owns a couple dealerships down in the Space Coast area of Florida, where I'm from, and stuff like that. And you actually have a familiar story about Jim Rathman.
Yeah, well, it's the Rathman brothers. So in the first IndyCars race here, the pole winner was his brother Dick Rathman, who actually won the 1958 Indianapolis 500 pole position. But he's also best known as the first Indy pole setter to complete 0 laps until Roberto Guerrero and then later Scott Sharp did the feat in 92 and in 2001. But he qualified on the pole here in a front-engine Offenhauser Roadster at an unheard of speed of 173.210.
Oh, trouble on the top. Is that Houston? Matt Houston? No, it wasn't. It was Tom Carpenter. Night's getting worse there. Sorry to cut your story off there. In the bus stop, him and Altana had some issues side by side through the bus stop, and well, that Nike car did it and spun around. But continue.
So in comparison, if you want to think about how fast 170 miles per hour is, it doesn't sound fast, especially with cars doing 220 now, 230. But in comparison, speeds didn't officially break the 170 mile per hour barrier in Indianapolis until 1968. So 9 years later. And that was done by Formula One champion and 1966 Indy winner Graham Hill when he eclipsed it with a speed of 171.208. So just tell you how much speed this track held in the 50s. It took a long time for many of the records to fall that were set in that particular race. The actual track record that was set during this event was actually held by George Amick. And unfortunately, there's a little bit of a tragic story to George, but his lap speed of 176.887, he was a second-day qualifier, so he was qualifying behind all of the first-day guys. But his speed of 176.887 was not broken until 1967, and that's when Curtis Turner beat it with a speed of 180.381 for the pole for the Daytona 500.
See, Curtis Turner, I want to say he might have been driving for the Wood Brothers at that time. I could be wrong by that.
Well, that's it. The 67 race actually had some nice names in it as well for IndyCar fans. You had Mario Andretti was in it, two-time winner, two-time Indy 500 winner Gordon Johncock, AJ Foyt, and Tony Bettenhausen.
Now, what year was it that the Wood Brothers actually pitted a car in the Indy 500? I'm trying to remember a year that was.
can't remember. They did it for Ford. That's
right.
who I remember they did it for. I want to say it was they were doing the rear engine cars, so they were the rear engine revolution has started to hit at that point. So I want to say late 60s, 68, 67, 69,
I'm gonna have to look it up.
somewhere there.
See Baskin Robbins saying hello. See Caleb's mom. I'm going to pronounce her name probably wrong, and I apologize. I believe it's Nyla, maybe? Cheering Caleb on tonight. I see Ruthless Samurai. Pretty cool name. He's talking about the rookies. He's got the great point here. We got 3 of them in the top 10 right now in the race here.
Yeah,
10.
Oh, actually, we got we got 4 of them in the top 10, and one of them's my man Oscar. So props to Oscar for running in the 4th spot.
Hey, it popped right up here. 1965 Indianapolis 500.
Yep.
It was a Lotus, actually, in the car, because they actually apparently they brought the car out at the Goodwill Festival back in 2015 for the 50-year anniversary. I'm trying to see here. Trying to read the article real quickly here so I can read it accurately and make sure I get this right. As you see, Jim Herrick on the screen running in the 9th position. He's about 3 seconds back from Matt Houston. Pretty much everybody is spread out except for, as I work one-handed here, Alex Van de Sande. Him and Tom Carpenter battling back here for the 11th position. Apparently a pit stop of 41.9, if I read that right, back in the day in 1965. Yep, that was. Oh, I'm sorry. That was the total amount of time he spent on pit road during that race, 41.9 seconds. And Jim Clark was the driver of that car. Took it to victory lane in that Indianapolis 500.
Yep. That was a well-oiled machine. So also competing in the 1959 race here was Dick's brother Jim Rathman, who won the 1960 Indy 500. Jim is one of the few drivers to ever complete on the ovals at Daytona, Indianapolis, and Monza, all in an Indy car.
Oh, trouble right in front of the leader.
Right in front of the
Claiborne
leader. Wow.
goes around, thankfully, down into the apron area there, so no harm, no foul. Isaac is just like, all right, dude.
Yeah. Well, and Kerstetter probably had to lift a little bit too, not making sure that he didn't roll back up into his in his way, but it's going to cost him a little bit of time and space. And he's almost lost the draft. Almost.
Want to look back here real quickly. Dan Barrera and Craig Forsyth, they're actually battling with Wesley Johnson. This is 13th, 14th, and 15th. Dan Barrera, a lot of people from Costa Rica apparently watching this broadcast. I've been told Dan had a group down there that apparently recently got a hold of on social media or something as he locks it up there. But he said something earlier today about some people from Costa Rica watching. And, of course, if you're down in that area right now in Central America, we are thinking about you because I am one that has been a part of not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 hurricanes. They are not fun to play with. And even went through a tropical storm a few weeks ago here in North Georgia as one of the storms blew through here really quickly. But they are going to get their second, just south of Costa Rica, their second Cat 4 or Cat 5 hurricane in 3 weeks coming up here, I think, tonight or tomorrow. So it's just not fun. Especially in an area that's not the highest, I guess, income-based, we'll call it, area, the highest populated area, the highest, I guess, well-lived area. I can't think of the right ways to word this right now, but hopefully everything works out down there because I could just see this hurricane is going to blow right through there, unfortunately.
Yeah, best wishes to everyone down there. My daughter was actually supposed to go down there in April, and it got pushed back to December, and it just, because of COVID, outright got canceled. It was a class trip. So she's a little disappointed. That would have been a trip of a lifetime. So she was supposed to go down there, but props to the folks all down there. Hope everything goes well, and stay strong.
You ride with Craig Forsyth trying to draft off of Morero, who's drafting off of Wesley Johnson. This is going to be a fight. Morero jumps out of it, says you can have this, Mr. Forsyth, down into turn 1. Probably a smart move there. into the International Horseshoe here. First gear corner. Got to roll back to the throttle or else you'll spin that car out.
Well, so I was saying before that spin out, Jim Rathman is one of the handful of drivers to ever compete on the ovals in an IndyCar at Daytona, Indianapolis, and Monza. Also joining him is A.J. Foyt, who was in that race as well. Of course, you know him as a 4-time winner of the Indy 500.
I think we had some issues with Alex Van de Sande here and Tom Carpenter. Oh, and right behind him, Wesley Johnson spins. But we got a 5-car fight now for position, now down to 4 with Wesley spinning. Alex is going to make the pass on Carpenter, who's got left front damage. And now the other 2 cars, Forsythe and Moreira, they're going to have to work their way up here. But this is becoming a tight little battle here. But I think Alex and Carpenter had a small issue just a second ago. Let's go back and see this. They're coming out of the International Horseshoe into the kink here. And Van de Sande's in front of Carpenter. Carpenter drives it down. Oh, and he makes contact with Van de Sande.
Ouch.
And Alex
is going to be that's going to be reviewed by the stewards probably.
Unfortunate deal there. And I'm pretty sure Alex is throwing packets of chili mix at him right now. You never know.
Yeah, I'm sure, and he's in a point. He's in a point survival race right now, so he needs to get every point out of this. And you want to talk about points? Unfortunately, looking down at 18th spot, Dakota LeMay has retired, so this is going to be a huge point hit for him.
Yeah, him and Alex looks like right now going to be the 2 guys that lose a lot of points. Alex out of pit road now. He's got to be careful. Don't mess up turn 1 here, especially coming out of pit road. Easy to do. You've seen plenty of cars in the 24-hour race just kind of, as a matter of fact, it got to the point where I think it was 3 years ago, they actually changed it to where pit road speed limit goes all the way out to the exit over there in the S's here off of turn 1. And they did that because so many people were wrecking going into that wall. Very easy to do on cold tires, especially at night.
Yeah, I saw a number of guys whipping it around during practice, learning it the hard way for those that didn't make any practice until this afternoon when the race actually became live on iRacing. So yeah, it's a very easy thing to do. It happened to me more than once, and hey, if it happens to me, it's happened to everybody else. So just got to watch yourself.
So Isaac Morris has stretched out his lead to 2, almost 3 seconds over Ed Kerstetter. So I'm sure Ed probably had a mistake or something, or maybe his car's just kind of fallen off the pace with him racing hard though. But he's still within 3 seconds. Cohen Evans 10 back. But Isaac Morris should be getting to the point where we're going to see the final round of pit stops. And Ed Kerstetter's coming in right now, and he's coming hot.
That's probably a good thing for him. He's probably seeing that that gap is not getting any shorter. Let's get in there, get some new rubber.
Cohen Evans in. Oh, contact! The 59 hits him. Oh. I would have thought that Wesley knew he was on his inside there, but you know what? Thinking about it, I don't think your spotter really tells you somebody's low on you in the pits. I could be wrong by that, but Kerstetter leaves pit road 10.1, a faster stop than his last time around. Cohen Evans at 9.8. So 2 really good stops there as Caleb Bensey is going to move up to the 3rd spot. Fredrickson and Adam Plunkett on pit road.
And that one might get reviewed by the stewards too as well.
Well, in the end, I know most leagues, when it comes to the stock car side of things, in that event would penalize Ed because he come hot into pit road and he was on the inside of another car, and most leagues say, stay to the outside on pit road. Don't know if that's the same here. I'm
not sure how the stewards will rule on this, so let's see if it gets picked up and maybe put under review or something as unavoidable contact, or just one of the racing things. That Isaac is coming in. He is hitting pit road right now. He has got to the cones. He is down to the speed limit, and he is making his way to his pit stall.
Right, and now Isaac, what he's doing, according to the rules, is fine. But normally, like, we would have them out here near the white line, the stripe, is where you need to be running until you get within a certain amount of distance of your pit stalls. Like in NASCAR, it's 3. Obviously, I know IndyCar, they got lines and stuff that kind of direct you in and out of your stall and all kinds of things from there. So, but Kerstetter right now coming through NASCAR 4. He's actually into the tri-oval right now. This is going to get tight. Here he comes at the start-finish line as Isaac
Isaac almost spins coming out of the pits. He hit
that wall. Did he? Oh, he hit the grass. Okay.
Yeah, he almost spins coming out.
So here comes Tom. Ed passes through. He's going to go by the lap car into the International Horseshoe. I don't see damage on Isaac's car.
No, but he's got to make hay here because Isaac's tires are going to be up to temp. Not this turn, not the next turn. But by the time he reaches the banking, his tires will be at 100%.
As you saw Bensey on pit road, Justin Miller, Jim Herrick. Jim Miller is a quarterback in football. Herrick having another great run. Do not want to put the broadcaster's jinx on him. With 4 tires and fuel, let's go back up here to the lead. As you see, Kerstetter is there. He's within about 2 seconds here.
He cut into that lead.
He did. Now, obviously, you've got to see what happens with the stewards if they call anything here as you look at the purple and white livery there of Isaac Morse. And that lead is coming down. 1.6. I think the draft kicking in here. Isaac actually going to the apron here in the tri-oval to kind of break up that draft as much as possible.
And that gets a little dangerous down there because if you just hit that lip just a little bit, that can kick the back end of your car out and it can spin you. And that's probably not a mistake he really wants to make, but he's willing to take the risk by going down to the apron.
That is what they call de-wedge. So basically, if you get your car up on the banking and part of your car is still down on the apron, it's what the car does what it's called de-wedging. And basically is where there's not, all the wedge moves to one side of the car and the back end gets loose or oversteer and spins around as somebody's spinning right in front of the leaders here into the left-hander. I saw a lockup at least. It looks like it's clear.
Well, and yeah, I think that's de-wedging would be more of a stock car term.
Right.
For Indy cars, they're so stiff, they don't bend. So when you disrupt the underside of the tray, where you disrupt a tire with its contact patch, it's unloading. Was probably the better term for it. But yeah, I could definitely see where on the NASCAR side of things it would be de-wedging. Yeah.
Any kind of term works in this case. I mean, it's basically where the right rear loses all the weight and it causes it to spin around because gravity pulls the weight down to the front.
So I got a trivia question for you. I don't know.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So do you by chance happen to know who the youngest IndyCar winner of all time is right now?
Right now it would be Colton Herta.
Well, that is the youngest one.
Okay.
But it's just a segue into my next question because one of the drivers that actually competed here in the 1959 Daytona 100 was Jim Davies. And Jim Davies, in 1949, became the youngest IndyCar winner at 20 years, 2 months, and 29 days. And that held until Marco Andretti beat the mark in 2006. He was in that race as well.
Wow. Learn something new every day. Hey, we've got a fight. Let's go to the 9th place battle here. Julian Altena with a huge run on Jim Herrick. Jim's not got a chance. He'll have a chance down to turn 1 with the draft, but Altena just gets a run through the bus stop and just stretches on him. Let's see if Herrick's going to try turn 1 here. Not able to do it. And speaking of stretching out, I've just looked up at the lap times here. Isaac Morris was 0.6 of a second faster than Ed Kerstetter on the last lap. Isaac is laying down laps now.
Yeah, he's purple at 129.467. We can get you some mile per hour on that one here in a second.
It's fast.
He is laying them down.
It's fast. We'll just call it like it is.
142.267.
As we look from the blimp down through the kink here, down into the Western Horseshoe. This is over And the reason why they call this the Western Horseshoe, the track actually to the west right here, this is the closest to the west this track goes. It's directly next to I-95 if you're going down into Florida. You look right next to the Daytona International Airport, you see the massive front straightaway grandstands now. But this is the western end of the track right here, turn 1 and 2. And you work your way down the back straightaway, which heads its way towards the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, the back straight runs parallel to the airport, and just the level of realism for this particular sim. If you probably won't see it in the background. If you catch it, it'll just be really brief. They actually have planes.
Oh yeah.
At the airport in the game, so when you're traveling around the track, you can see jets coming in and landing at the airport. That is awesome.
Which, by the way, they do come in kind of hot. I worry about that sometimes. Like, man, they're coming in fast. I'm trying to see if I have maybe a camera that could catch that potentially. The only way we'd be able to do it is if I'm going to take a chance. Let's try it this lap. Let's roll bar. And it's going to, if you're going to see a plane land, it'll be over in turn 2 of the NASCAR section. We're going to be going back towards it right now. So if you look back in the background there, you might. It's going to be dark, so obviously it might be hard to see. Matter of fact, no. Right to the right of the screen here, you're going to see a plane. I just saw a white speck up in the sky. Right. I think that's what that is. Who knows? For those who have never seen it. Yep, right there's a plane landing right in the background there over turn 1. You saw it as you climbed the banking there. The plane was landing in the background. So there you go. You got to see it on camera. And Kerstetter with issues. He is parked in the barrels over here in the turn 6 section. Oh, the rookie. And that car's got heavy damage.
Yeah, I hope it's not too severe.
Oh, actually, it's not much.
Yeah, he's got a bent wing, so he's gonna. I would stop immediately and get that fixed.
And that gives second to Cohen Evans. Why do you fight this for 8 laps and try to still get a top 5? I mean, with the pit, let's see, pit delta, he's probably looking at, let's see, yeah, he just drives it too deep into the corner and bam, into the barrels.
Well, he does have a 14-second lead.
He would probably
take on Fredrickson, so he might be able to rough it out if he wants to. Let's see what he's going to do. Is he going to know he's not making that turn down pit road, so he's going to attempt to ride this out. So we have our new one-winged angel.
Ah. He will, looks like, I mean, if he were to pit, he'd probably come out in the 6th position, maybe 7th. But Kerstetter puts it in the barrels, and there's our second reference to Kenny Omega of the season. So Cohen Evans back up to 2nd, and this battle now 12 seconds behind. As I look, pretty much everybody's spread out now in this race, just trying to get to the finish here.
So before we wrap this up, I just kind of want to finish up on some of these stories about the 1959 race and how the importance it is to IndyCar and IndyCar history. Some other names that were involved in the race. You had Eddie Sachs. You had Tony Bettenhausen Jr., who's the father of Gary Bettenhausen and Tony Bettenhausen, or excuse me, he was Tony Bettenhausen Sr., and he was also the father of Tony Bettenhausen Jr., of course. 1959 Indianapolis pole winner Johnny Thompson. 1956 Indianapolis 500 pole center race winner Pat Flattery. You also had an Unser in the race. Jerry Unser, the late brother of the 3-time Indy 500 champion Bobby Unser, 4-time Indy 500 winner Al Unser, uncle to Al Jr., and father of the 5-time Indianapolis starter Johnny Unser. Here's how the race panned out, though. 25 cars showed up. 20 cars took the green flag. One actually said, I'm not doing it, and just said, I'm leaving, which probably wasn't a bad idea at this point. But the race was won by Jim Rathman, who beat Roger Ward by a pretty close margin back in the day at 6.3 seconds, with an average speed over 100 miles of 170.261. So right now, the current record holder at 100 miles at Indianapolis is Fernando Alonso, 214.828 miles per hour. That was set in 2017. Okay, so there's 58 years between now and then. but less than 45 miles per hour difference. That's how fast they were moving there. So an Indy 500 finish with that high of an average after 500 miles didn't happen until 1986. And the current record is actually over 187 miles per hour set by TK. But by all accounts, the race was exceeding expectations, unfortunately, until the last lap, where George Amick was fatally killed in a crash. And sadly, unfortunately, the first 2 deaths at the Speedway were IndyCar related. So the planned return of the series later in 1954 on July 4th weekend was canceled. Track owner Bill France rescheduled the date to feature a NASCAR stock car race, making way for what eventually became a staple on the NASCAR circuit,
the Firecracker
400. This will be the last IndyCar race in Florida for 26 years.
Wow. It's a sad ending to a good story right there. Well, hopefully tonight we'll have a happy ending when it is all over with, and we'll have somebody in victory lane celebrating, which we will, in about 5 laps. But I do want to mention real quickly, I want to give these guys a shout out to our sponsor of tonight's race, Jim Cook, Chevrolet Buick GMC. Make sure you check them out. We appreciate Jim Cook. Chevy
Oscar
Buick.
Making the move under, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Oscar making the move under Kerstetter, so he did break that difference up. And that was a move for 3rd place, so that's a podium position. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut off the sponsors. He's a good guy locally. I like this business. Yeah,
Jim Cook, Chevy Buick GMC out of Indianapolis. They're a proud sponsor of tonight's race here at Daytona. As you mentioned, Fredrickson going to maybe get on the podium here as he gets by Kerstetter. Bensie's going to catch him pretty quickly. And we'll see. Hopefully, Kerstetter can get back to the line here in these next 5 laps and keep that great finish. I mean, let's not let a top 10 finish potentially tonight show how great of a run that man had in his first race. This whole team has actually done well tonight. Adam Plunkett up here in the 6th position, and then Tom Carpenter, he's had a couple of bumps and bruises in this race, but still 13th. Not a bad run for him tonight.
Bensie stalking. Oh, and
Bensie's.
Nice. Ed just lets him by. That was real nice of him.
I think Ed's just trying to get to the finish here. Let's go back here. Matt Houston under attack as he had some issues out of that the left-hander into turn 1 NASCAR. Julian Altena goes by for the 8th position. See if Matt can get the draft back down the straightaway here. Pull up the speedometer again and see what we're looking at here this time. He's going to have a full draft here, so he should not lift at all. 180, 185 right now, up to 190.
And because of their wing configuration on these particular cars, they are much bigger hole in the air, so the draft is even more
197 turn 1
configuration. Yeah,
wow,
that makes sense.
Yeah, somebody shared with me before the race. Apparently, there's the oval front wing is on this car. Oh, and Altena locks it up down into 1, or the International Horseshoe.
Oval front wing, but the road course and short oval on rear wing.
So we are at 3 laps to go for Isaac Morris. Isaac looking to win another race here, as the only race he has not won since his return was the oval race at Indianapolis. Otherwise, he has won every road course race since he has showed up here to the LMCgear.com iRacing IndyCar Series. Want to mention real quickly, make sure you give Captain TV a follow on Twitter and Facebook. All you have to do is look up at Captain TV IR. That's Captain letters TVIR. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter and follow us there. I know Matt Houston's starting to work a little bit of the social media work for LMCgear.com's IndyCar Series, so you'll see them also on there and so much more. But check us out there. Of course, Gary's got his own Twitter account too.
Yep, at Gary Godso, and also want to give a shout out to the guys at Apex Sim Racing. They took really good care of me on a button box that I ordered. If you're looking for a button box or just some other add-on that you could use for a wheel or something to make your sim racing a little bit easier, check these guys out. They're not sponsoring me or not sponsoring the program, not any money. They just gave me really good service, and I want to make sure that gets recognized. So Apex Sim Racing, check them out. Just Google search them.
Yeah, Apex actually a little connection with me. This stuff that you see on the screen is Apex. This is their stuff. SDK Gaming is part of Apex in what they do. So, what you see from me is their stuff. They put it all together and actually have a subscription out there that they put together and allow people to race their stuff. And that's what we have.
Two laps to go.
Yep, 2 to go. A little over 7 miles. Had to carry the one there for a second. As Isaac Morris looking for that next win. He's got Isaac Morris right there behind him. Or Isaac Morris. Yeah, I did it again. Morris is not behind himself. It's Alex Van der Sant. And I just thought to myself, all right, don't mix this up, Chris, because they're right next to each other. And here I did. It's one of those don't swing at the...
Isaac is... Right, exactly.
Don't swing at the pitch. Don't swing... Oh, you swung.
Isaac is not feather-footing it either. 142.243 was his last lap. It's not purple, but it's pretty darn close.
Adam Plunkett passed Ed, his teammate, for 5th. So Ed has fallen all the way back to 6th. He's got 5 seconds back to Justin Miller as Isaac Morris is taking the white flag final lap down into turn number 1. Through the S's for the final time as he comes up on the back bumper, Jim Herrick. Herrick in the 10th position as Alex slides it wide, and so does Jim. And that's actually going to be a battle for the 10th position, and Alex went past.
Yeah.
Alex got past Jim for the position.
Now, I don't know what teams do about team orders, but in this case, with someone that in the points battle and higher in the other driver, I would probably let the driver higher in the points battle just go, and that'd be the teamly thing to do. But we'll see if Jim tries to get him back.
I could give you my true, honest opinion about team orders if you wanted to, but
I know a lot of people don't like them, but hey, they're a part of IndyCar racing, and some people it's just a fact, I guess. And he's doing the weave down the backstretch, so he is doing the championship pre-checker weave going down the main straight, our backstretch there.
Very Isaac Morris-like of him as he comes.
The funny thing is, Van der Sant was following him, trying to get the trap.
Can you stop that, please? Oh boy, as Isaac Morris comes off turn 4, and he is going to see the checkered flag yet again. Isaac Morris, a winner at Daytona in the Jim Cook Chevrolet Daytona Indy 150.
That's it. I'm calling it. It's called the Morris. It's called the Morris weave.
The Morris shuffle. Come on.
Okay. Yeah, Morris shuffle. We had shuffles done at Daytona before.
That is going to be Isaac's 3rd win, I think. I'm trying to make sure I got it counted right, but we'll have to see. Just trying to go over the stats and stuff like that. But Cohen Evans going to finish 2nd, and welcome to the league, Oscar Fredrickson. Going to come off of NASCAR 4. Oscar going to bring her home, and he won't be so much of a grouchy mood. Oscar going to finish in 3rd.
Go, Oscar. Way to go, my man. He's my teammate. I'm very happy for him.
Mr. Caleb Bensi, Mr. Consistency, going to finish in the 4th position. And how about this? A 3rd rookie in the top 5 tonight, Adam Plunkett. He kept it pretty clean throughout the night and brings that, I guess that would be orange and black car, to the checkered flag and finished 5th. And the Florida driver, Justin Miller, 6th. Ed Kerstetter, about where I thought he would finish if he were to pit, in the 7th position. I know that young man is going to be angry. Not happy with the mistake he made. Julian Altena is going to coast his way to 8th. Matt Houston's coming hot for 9th. Almost had a shades of the the Austrian Grand Prix with the Ferrari cars. One slows down, the other one speeds by.
Well.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
that went over well. Yeah,
very. All right, taking a look at the finishing order for tonight's race. Isaac Morris wins it over Cohen Evans. As I mentioned, it is a 18-second lead for that young man there. Oscar Fredrickson, Caleb Bensi, Adam Plunkett, 3 rookies, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Justin Miller, 6th. A 4th rookie in the top 10, Ed Kersetter, finishing 7th. Julian Altena, 8th. Matt Houston, Alex Van de Sant finishing in 10th. Jim Herrick, 11th. Craig Forsythe, 12th. Dan Marrera, His Royal Highness, finishing 13th. Tom Carpenter, the rookie, finishing 14th. Cody Claiborne, 15th. Joe Fiero, I don't think we said his name all night, 16th. Wesley Johnson, 17th. At Sunset Arctic, Dakota DeMed, finishing 18th. These people are sneaking these names in here. I can only see where this is going later on in the season.
You're the one that pointed it out, so now they're all exploiting it.
Until they put something you're not supposed to put on here, now I have a problem.
Right.
Coy Haslow in his first start, 19th. Gavin Smith, 20th. Brandon Dennis, 21st. Jacob Locklear, 22nd. And the other 2 guys were admins. And Marion yelled at me, by the way, after the race in the Canadian race, because he was out there running laps, and he comes out, he says, "Chris, you think I'd really run this race? You know I'm an admin." How do I know? You're out there running laps. Anyways.
Maybe you just want to have fun.
I guess so. So, all right, let's go down here to the grid here. You might see again a little bit of Loch Ness here because of the way my Discord works with things. But let's go talk to Isaac Morris sitting in the Race vs. Team channel. As Isaac joins us tonight, another road course win. Isaac, we're going to start this off by saying, sir, I think we have a name for your move.
My move?
Your weave, that we call it.
Oh, not again.
Oh yeah, we see it, sir. The Morris Shuffle.
Oh yeah. I kind of like the sound of that.
Right? It's got a little catch to it, kind of like the Super Bowl Shuffle of 1986. You got the Icky Shuffle. Now we got the Morris Shuffle.
Yeah.
Well, talk about your racing out there, man. You had a great fight with Cohen for a while. Unfortunately, he made a mistake, and then you and the rookie there, Kerstetter, went to war with each other, and you guys had to fight.
It was really fun. It's just to have Cohen and Ed like right at my backside for a majority of the race really put me in another gear, I think, because with Daytona being like 75% oval, you've really got to nail your exits and not make any mistakes, because all that power and slipstream that they had was making a huge difference. And I think within the first 10 laps I couldn't shake Cohen or Ed, and it was frustrating me a little bit. But yeah, just really happy with the results. If there's any questions, go for it. I don't know what else to say, sorry.
No, I mean, you do what you had to do. I mean, talk about, though, this is your 4th race, and you've got 3 wins on the road courses. Obviously, Indianapolis almost came to you, too, by inches. I mean, does that make you feel good? Does it kind of make you a little bit angry on the inside, knowing that something personally kind of got in your way, work-wise, that kept you from running these other races, knowing you could be on a championship run right now?
Yeah, it does frustrate me a little bit, because with the tracks that were before I came back, they were all good tracks as well. So I don't want to say I would have dominated or won the races or whatever, but there's a high chance, that I could be on top right now. And it does annoy me a little bit, but I've got to look past that and look towards next season now. These races I'm doing is just preparing me for the next season. So yeah, just gotta feel 100% for next season and be fully committed.
Gary, any questions on your end, bud?
Your pre-race routine, what was it today?
5-mile run.
5-mile run. All right.
Wait, is this on the what do they call that? The bike?
No, I kit up and go out for a run every Monday night before the race.
Pelotonic. That's what I was thinking of. But wow, that's impressive. A little 5-mile warm-up run, then you go sit on a computer. Do you have to stretch yourself after the race too? Because I mean, that's got to be kind of interesting just to kind of stop your body from a long run like that.
Yeah, so it's really tasking on the body, going for a 5-mile run and then coming straight onto the computer to do an hour-long race, and there's no taking a breather in the race. Like the only breather you get is the pit lane, and you just got to be full focus for the whole hour, and not only physically tiring but mentally tiring. So doing all this stuff that I do outside the sim just prepares me for all this.
Yeah, I thought it was just fascinating. We were in just letting everyone know at home. It was myself and a couple other drivers were in a practice session with Isaac, and he mentioned that, and I just found that fascinating. As I'm a bigger guy, I'm not huge. I'm a bigger guy, and running, it does not turn me on. And thinking about running before getting on one of these games even turns me on less. But the fact that this man goes out and does it and makes it part of his pre-race routine, and it makes him the driver who he is, that's pretty fascinating right there. So I just wanted to mention that. But I'm again happy for you. Great job. You had some heat on you this time. Now you're looking at Road Atlanta. What's your experience there, and what's your take on what that race might be like?
Road Atlanta, I'd just say 3-time Petit Le Mans winner there. So.
Oh, okay. Well, he has no experience, people. Don't worry about it.
Not at all.
Yeah, it's a totally new track to me. But I might be at the back this time. Who knows? But Road Atlanta is a difficult track because you've got the uphill after turn 1, and then you got the downhill, and then you've got, I think it was turn 5 or 6. You got the curb on the inside and the outside, and it's going to be really difficult to figure out how the car's going to react on that curb. And then you've got the long straight, which again could be a huge factor when it comes to the start of the race, whether people behind or in front get slipstream, and who utilizes that more than the next person. So it's just going to be really another strategic race like Daytona, but maybe less because of the smaller straight.
And not to mention, you got the chicane there coming out of that long straightaway, and then you got the blinding turn 12. That's a downhill. You can't even see what's on the other side of it coming to start finish. So that's going to be an interesting race in itself. But Isaac, send shout out to whoever you'd like to.
So first off, want to give a shout out to the race sponsors who are a sponsor for TI Racing as well, which is Jim Cook Car Dealership. And also I want to give a shout out to Groblets on Ice again for sponsoring TI, and also shout out to Chris, and then a shout out to Cohen, a shout out to Oscar for his first podium, I think it is, and also a shout out to Caleb because he, if I've done my maths right, he is now on top of the championship.
Wow.
So it's going to be spicy towards the end, so I can't wait to see this championship fight.
Spicy. Nice. Yeah. I like it.
That's so spicy, meatball.
Mamma mia.
Wow. I've never heard an Irishman say that before. That's impressive.
So yeah, I'm just really excited for the end of the season. I've got Road Atlanta and Le Mans, so my head's just on them at the moment.
Absolutely. Well, Isaac, we appreciate your time. We'll let you go and go celebrate another win with your team, and congrats on your win.
Thank you for doing a good broadcast, guys. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Yep. Absolutely.
Congrats.
There. Yep. Isaac
Thank you guys.
Getting himself a win tonight again, and well, he continues his streak here ever since he showed up at Monza, won that race. Then he almost won Indianapolis. Then he showed up in Canada, won that race. And he shows him Daytona, wins that race. So he's got 3 wins in the last 4. Could easily have 4 in 4 races, but Caleb decided to cut to the inside and win that race at Indianapolis. But Cohen Evans, second place run for him tonight is going to help him points-wise, which is what he's needed the last few weeks. but I know there's probably a little bit more anger inside because Cohen had a chance to compete with Isaac. Him and Isaac had a great battle at the beginning of the race, and then he got to the Western Horseshoe, and looks like you just had to put the binders down as you almost ran into Isaac.
Yeah, I got scared. I was trying not to run into Isaac and slam the brakes. And I think it locked up both the inside tires, and it just sent me into the grass and into the wall where I got a bit of damage.
Well, you still bounce back, got yourself a second place run. That's got to make you excited, knowing that you're getting closer and closer to get back to that championship lead.
Yeah, it was a good night for the championship. I don't know where Caleb finished, but I think 2 of the 3 ahead of me did not so great. So see where that puts me in the points.
Caleb was 4th.
Yeah, Caleb was 4th, so he might be the point leader when it's all over with, and then you might be right there 2nd or 3rd. Alex, unfortunately, finishing back in 10th, which still is a decent point night, but when it's I wouldn't say a smaller field, you have 23 cars, 22 start the race, it's a tighter field.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just for Alex, one small mistake, it puts him more points back just because we had so many start compared to all the other weeks.
Well,
tell me about the draft. How did the draft play out for you? Was it helped you level the playing field a little bit to have it there, or what?
Yeah, I felt like it was pretty fair. I felt like you kind of just ran out of power once you got up to speed.
Mm-hmm.
You got to 6th gear and you just lost any speed and you couldn't really pass. So the only way to get around someone is to get a really good draft or use the push to pass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, Cohen, you did a great job this evening. Another 2nd place run. You're going to Road Atlanta next week. We just kind of mentioned it to Isaac. Obviously, that track is a very small track when you look at road courses. It's not like Daytona or Road America. So this one, you got the winding S's that are not to mention up. Elevation wise up to turn 2, and then you're downhill and you got a couple of straightaways and that kind of thing. IndyCar is going to run pretty quick around there, about a minute 8 or so, I believe, something like that. So this track's going to be very quick.
Yeah, that place is definitely not built for Indy cars. They got high curves.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing it next weekend here on next Monday on Captain TV. Cohen, send shout outs whoever you want to.
I'll shout out everyone who started tonight. I think we had one of the highest fields car counts we've ever had, and I have Jim to thank for that. He's been doing a great job handling this league so far.
Yeah, and you did a great job tonight, Cohen. We wish you the best, and we will see you next week.
Yep.
Cohen Evans, 2nd place run for him. And Gary, is your buddy around here somewhere? Let's go down here and see if we can find him.
I see.
Here he is. He's down here in the Race First channel. Yep.
He's in Race First.
All right. You know what? You want to take this one? You know him pretty well. Why don't you talk to Oscar?
My man, first podium, man. Tell me about it.
Yes. Yeah, it's really happy to finish on the podium. I drove a perfect race for me. Just kept it clean, and I got lucky in the end, I guess, with was it Ed? That I think he got damaged or something. He was slow at the end.
He nosed it into the wall, and I think he only had 7 laps left, and we were kind of debating should he take the stop, should he keep going, and I think we kind of split the ground there on that one, Chris. You said if he stopped, he would have come out in the position he did, and I said he should keep going, and he ended up in that position anyway. So, but man, super happy for you. Tell me about the race, especially the start there. What caused the top 3 to get away from you guys so fast? Was it just the fact that you guys were fighting back for positions and then just lost track of the draft?
I don't know really. I don't know if Caleb would have been able to stick with the top guys, but I know for sure I'm not gonna stick with Isaac and the fast guys. So I just wanted to hang on to my position and had a good battle with Caleb for a couple of laps, and then he made a mistake going out of the bus stop. And after that, it was just about keeping it clean, running my race, making no mistakes.
So do we get bragging rights on Julian for the remainder of the week?
Yeah.
Okay, absolutely. Okay, that's all that matters is bragging rights on Julian. Chris, you got anything?
No, other than Oscar, you did a great job. Obviously, I've only known you for a week now or 2 weeks since obviously I've raced with you now on Saturdays and stuff, and obviously you've shown you've got talent on the road course. I mean, I know you made a couple mistakes in the Road America race a couple weeks ago on that Saturday, but you definitely have proved yourself tonight. You obviously go to Road Atlanta. Any experience out there next week?
Yeah, I like that track. One of my favorite tracks actually on iRacing. So I'm definitely gonna try to do well there.
Absolutely. Well, great job. And as always, we let the racers give shout outs to whoever they want to. So here's your time. Give shout outs to whoever you'd like.
Yeah, I just want to give first a shout out to my teammate in VR, and yes, not teammate in this league, but Julian. He started alongside me, and we decided right away we're not gonna fight each other. We're just gonna work together, and if the pass is on, the pass is on, and just let each other know and keep it clean. And we worked well together for a couple of laps there. I could fight Caleb without worrying about getting battled from behind. And also shout out to Isaac. He helped me out with figuring out the car setup and the track in a practice session earlier in the week. And really happy for him to win this race too. I know he's very fast.
Well, great job, Oscar. We appreciate you joining us tonight, and welcome into the league, and we will see you next week.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Congrats, Oscar. We'll talk to you later in the week.
Thank you.
That's Oscar Fredrickson, your third place runner this evening, getting his first podium in his first race. And, Gary, we had to think about this one a little bit tonight. Want to send a quick shout out to Justin Miller. He actually was the highest moving racer tonight when it comes to positions gained. Justin moved up from the 12th position to 6th in this race. We thought about giving him potentially the Happy Trails pass of the race tonight, but then we thought about it a little bit in this spicy overtake move. We got to go back to early in this race, and I actually have it. I had it queued up. Yep, here it is right here. We're going to go back to this right here, and let me get it all set up here. But the spicy overtake of the race, we're going to follow it here as it comes out of the... Isaac blinks out there for a second on my screen. I was like, don't do that to me. I'm coming out of into NASCAR Turn 2 now is where we're at right now on... I'm trying to see what lap this is. Let me actually pull up the screen here, and I'll get you the lap. It was lap number 5 of this race. Isaac Morris leading this race, and this is going to be the spicy overtake of the race. Brought to you by world champion Tom Hoover's Happy Trails chili seasoning mix. Just add beef, tomato sauce, and water, and you'll get the world championship chili. So watch Cohen here. Cohen is going to literally get the draft about a half second back all the way up on Isaac Morris here and go for the lead into turn 1 here. You see the draft. You see Cohen getting here closer and closer, and he's going to swipe out to the outside here. Isaac goes down to the apron. So as he makes the move,
you even notice. You even notice in the bus stop that Cohen took a more shallow line and made up some ground there. So on top of the draft and coming through the bus stop a little bit more strategically, he gets a big run here coming up into the tri-oval. He'll let you pick it back up.
Yeah, basically he gets to run, decides not to make the pass here, and I think I'm at the right moment here in the race. They're supposed to pass each other here in a second, but we're going to watch this battle as they continue to fight on. Cohen gets closer as they come back into the Western Horseshoe again. And down the short chute here, down towards NASCAR Turn 1. But basically what you're going to see here is Cohen is so close now to Isaac. He's able to get the draft down the straightaway here. And this is going to set up the pass, I believe, right here, if I marked it right. This time around, lap number 6.
Thought he got him on the front stretch. We'll see.
Yeah, it should be going into turn 1 where he makes the move because Cohen overshoots the corner here. I thought I had it set up right, but apparently I didn't. So let's watch it here down into the bus stop.
We'll watch each one's line coming through the bus stop. I'm sure he's using push to pass. I'm sure both of them are probably using push to pass at this point.
Which actually more hurts Isaac in this case because it just creates faster speed and a bigger wake to draft off of.
Right.
So, yeah, here comes Cohen. Let's see if he gets closer. Again, Isaac goes to the outside.
Line. Yep.
And Cohen sends it down. No, he doesn't here either. All right, this is failing me miserably. going to click on it again, see if I get this to work this time. Yeah, see, it just backed up. So, anyways, there was a move, and I'm just going to fast forward to it, but this is not, thank you, computer programs. Anyways, I'm going to pull up the screen here. All right, right here. It was 3 laps later. Thank you. So here's the pass, actually. So it happens on lap number 7 to lap number 8. So Cohen's getting the draft. Down the straightaway here. I don't know why it said lap 5. Cohen gets the slipstream. Makes the move to the outside here, but then Cohen goes down into turn number 1. And overshoots turn 1 a little bit, and it opens the door back up for Isaac. Right there. And Isaac makes the
first attempt.
Yeah, and then they're still side by side here. Cohen gets the grass down to the International Horseshoe. So that move right there, we are going to call the Tom Hoover spicy overtake of the race, the Happy Trails spicy overtake, and that is brought to you by Tom Hoover's Happy Trails chili seasoning mix. Just add beef, water, and tomato sauce, and you got World Championship chili right there. That's your spicy overtake. A little bit of a dipsy-do move between Isaac Morris and Cohen Evans. Isaac ended up back with the lead, and they would do it a couple more times, but Isaac in the end would come away with the victory. So before we take off, Gary, final thoughts as we leave Daytona, and I can pretty much guarantee we will come back to this race eventually, so this will not be a one and only type thing.
Yeah, I really hope that the promoters took note of the number of starters that showed up for this one. I think this track really lends to, it's not an overly technical road course, but it does have technical aspects to it. So if you're the road course racer, you're going to do well here. If you're an oval racer, you're going to do decently well here. So my thoughts is I love seeing the huge field. I don't know who's going to stop the Isaac Morris train right now. I couldn't tell you, especially maybe Oscar has a shot for him, considering Oscar says that's his favorite track coming up. I don't know, but the man is on a roll, and you can't do nothing but just say, kind of be in awe about it. So when the man's good, the man is good.
I agree 100%. And last season, it was actually Isaac Morris that ended up hurting Isaac Morris as he got involved in a bunch of incidents that cost him the championship. But I'm sure he's working on that not happening again. So, Gary, appreciate your time. We'll see you next week. As a matter of fact, I'll open the door to my bedroom here, spare bedroom. You can come sleep here during the week, as we're literally 10 minutes from Road Atlanta. So I'll take you around Gainesville and the area here, and we'll go eat some good barbecue in the area. So appreciate everybody watching us on Captain TV. Give us a follow at Captain TV IR on Facebook and Twitter. Wednesday night, we're on the air for the Great Lakes Truck Series. We will be at Gateway for that race just outside St. Louis. That should be a fun race there. But as I always like to say, if somebody gets mad at you in a race this week and they get frustrated because you're all mad and says, dude, relax, it's just a game, you know what to tell them. It's like, dude, no, it's iRacing. Have a good night.
Good night.